Hello, everybody. It's so nice to see you. Well, not see you, but to be here with you in this moment. Missed Opportunities card came out. January was a very long month. It was a very long and busy month, and usually January is a time of, resting and kind of the time that we recharge. I don't know how it was for all of you, but I've been like nonstop with the 3 jobs and then working on the projects and whatnot. So the overexcitement card reverse came up, so it's like, yeah, this was the time to slow down and recharge. So for those of you that, did take the time to slow down and recharge, good for you, because that was the time to do that. I'm hoping that February is a good time to kind of rest. All right, let's see what the cards have to say. Interesting. Initiation in the beginning. Okay. So, what I'm seeing so far in the past timeline, there was a lot of toxicity. So the collective was dealing with a time that was very toxic and very fear-based. So the toxicity that hit globally and the collective caused everybody to be very fearful, and it made a very toxic and fearful energy. It also lent to this warrior energy of I need to defend and fight for what is mine at all costs. So that energy is setting the timeline for the present and the future is what this is saying. I'm gonna show you the toxic card. There's this certain element of illusion to the toxic card too, where it's like the thing that's offered is beautiful and it seems, alluring. And then the truth of it is that, it's not good for us, right? Okay, so that was the past position. And then we deal with illusion, right? Which is really interesting because that just came out for the toxic card. That's the next card following in the sequence, and I didn't actually look at it. So, yeah, that definitely means that this was a time where we were really kind of learning our discernment, looking at a situation and asking, like, what is the truth of it? What, people are telling me these things, but is it true to what they're saying? And I think we live in a time where people will say one thing and they'll want us to take it as a truth, but the reality of it is it's not, right? And so we're figuring that out. And I think a lot of this energy has been I think we learned a lot during the pandemic, right? When things go wrong, how does this whole system operate, right? And right now it's we're seeing past this illusion and we're going through an initiation. So this is incredibly important. Anytime we're going through an initiation, it's important to know what the nature of that initiation is, what the test is, because the initiation is a test. So this is telling me how we choose to deal with these energies, and what's been done is a test to see, our worth, right? Our value. Are we going to be initiated into the next phase, the next level, if we so choose to do that? So sorry, somebody's ringing the doorbell, and I'm pretty sure I told everyone I was doing a reading right now. I'm not going to answer that because this is important. There's a new doorway that's opening up, and we're going into an initiation that is going to take us out of the imbalance that we've been in, because we have been very imbalanced. And a lot of these tests were how do we make the heart lighter than the feather, right? And as a collective, in a lot of ways, we're all struggling. We're trying to balance out all of these things. and we're having issues with making the heart lighter than the feather because there's a lot of global events that are very disheartening, right? It's a test to us, like, well, we're evolving, but then certain things happen, and then we feel stuck and powerless, and we can't really quite change it, right? And this is like impromptu. So for a while we were just winging it and like seeing like, where do we go with this? Like, where is it going to lead? And now impromptu is in reverse. And that means that we're setting out and we're making a plan. So there's a plan now. Instead of just winging it and going along with everything, we're like, nope, now we need to work together and create a plan to get out of this like point of chaos and loss, but loss is in reverse. So like in the future, as we're making these plans, it's going to feel like, oh, there was so much loss. But then when we really think about it, we're like, well, that wasn't really a loss. Like things are falling away, like falling out of your hands that don't really serve you. And so the universe is working in your favor to release them. And the other thing here is this craft. Synchronicity, balancing polarities, balancing these opposites, yin and yang, solar, lunar, taking these and creating tensions. And it's an art form. It's like once you start realizing the differences between energies, and rather than like having them be combative, you get to a point where you're like, how can I integrate them or get them to compromise, right? And so these are the lessons that we're going into. So the collective is attempting to integrate itself. And if we look in the past, this toxic energy kept a lot of you up at night. Like, and this is really interesting because we have the fear card and this like creature that, for sleep paralysis, they say like, people would call it like, the Chinese sitting demon, ghouls, there's different names like the sleeping hag for what these entities are, right? And so this person, because they're so afraid, this thing is like feeding off their chi and holding them down, right? And the same thing here, this person's chi, when you're in a fearful state, you make yourself incredibly vulnerable. And not just to people, but to different energies, right? And this is telling me with this toxic energy that came in the collective, and look at that. There was a lot of fear. And I feel like we're still purging that out of the collective. And so when we were in these fearful states, we were kind of like in a hermit mode. Like people were just kind of going in their homes and trying to navigate their own dark forests. But it's like, as they were doing that, they're like, okay, like I need to come out of this hermit mode that I'm in. And then as we went into this warrior energy, it's that balance. So you can see the scales here and you can see the scales here. It's like the collective, everything globally is really trying to balance itself out in the best way that it can. And there are different stressors that put pressure on that, because there are people who don't want it to be balanced, right? When things are balanced, they don't make money. They're not getting that cash flow, and they view us as ways of making money. And we're spiritual, sacred beings. Like we're supposed to live in harmony with each other, with this planet, and so we're in natural flow. So when things are askew, we try to balance things out in a harmonious way. And this is about someone who has a lot to give, right? They share, they give their experience, they're giving their wealth to others, right? In my deck, I made it a musician, because to me, musicians are, they inspire the collective. They take their experience, their passion, their love, and their love of music and dance, and they take their experience, and what they do is they craft this beautiful piece, and then they hand it to other people and say, let's share in this. Let's dance together. Let's hear a jam together. Let's decompress together. I always think of, there's a musician named Mutant, MVTANT, and he's one of the kindest people I've ever met in my life. An incredible musician. And like, his thing is like, I'm just here to enjoy making music and make music for other people. And it's so beautiful. I'm like, okay, these are the people that, you know, need to be running the collective, right? These are like behind the scenes motivators and leaders, you know, and Gothmancy is very much about that. It's like, how do musicians inspire us? You know, and there's a warrior energy to it. A lot of, another one is Void Vision, or is it Vision Video? I'm so sorry, I'm spacing this right now. They're absolutely amazing. I can't believe I'm forgetting the name right now. But, you know, and that person is a warrior too. They used to be a soldier. They learned from their experience of being in the army and like in the military. And now they're bringing stuff to the collective to like balance it out in a positive way with their experience. So there's that warrior energy and this like creative, positive energy that's helping to guide us. There's a lot of really positive energy that's coming in. So this other energy that came in that kind of disrupted everything and threw everybody off, it did its thing, but this other energy came in. And so the people who pick up the pieces, who balance things out, they start coming in and they start balancing. And look at this, the illusion. This is Ace of Cups, new love, new beginning, like revitalizing, filling the cup of love, right? So there's this very like nurturing energy that's starting to come into the collective. And then on top of that, this is really good. We have an Ace of Wands energy. So in this initiation, this magic, right? Spark, right? In this card, there's the green fairy. Mary Shelley drank absinthe, and the spirit attributed to absinthe was the green fairy. She had this idea of Frankenstein, which is now a classic. So this is telling me your initiation, it's like, we go through these different experiences in life, and they're all like materials and foundations to build, you know, our businesses, our creative realm, the things that we want to do for ourselves, right? That are healthy, right? So as each individual builds and develops themselves, they help strengthen the collective. And this kind of energy and working together, is going to help take us out of imbalance. And we have the Knight of Cups in reverse. And there's like an Eight of Cups energy too. So it's this like passionate, you know, the horse on there gives me like a feeling of like the momentum is there, the love is there, it's romantic, it's nourishing, right? It's the knight in shining armor. And then when it's in reverse, it's like this kind of, we're coming out of imbalance, and there's a lot of emotional imbalance. So like those emotional waters are like, it's like a wild horse, right? It's just feeling so much, and I feel this and I feel that, and I have no control over these emotions that I'm feeling. And it's like, you know, there's a point where we're like, you know what, I'm gonna walk away from this because I'm tired, I'm exhausted, I'm supposed to be building my pinnacles, and there's a craving for justice. And here the Queen of Wands, and she's my magic queen. She balances this. She's been balancing this energy as well as the King of Wands, and they've been working really hard to get the collective in a positive aspect, and she's in the negative right now. So we need to get our Queen of Wands upright again. I'm just going with the energy with this because it's driven. And I don't want to, I usually do my readings in a different way, but this one is definitely driven. So now let's see what the future holds. What does the future hold? Three of Cups energy. This is like, you know, having a plan, winging it. But then there's this like three of Cups energy that could be a third party energy. Could be a lot of party, a lot of frivolousness. It can also be positive in its positive aspect, you know, celebration, right? The original card is three women coming together to celebrate. But the Three of Cups has a lot of different messages. So it's, this future energy is like, you know, the party, you know, in this one, it's like, we enjoy the moment together, and they're, you know, it's a club and people are drinking and stuff. And, which is really interesting because like, I used to drink and then I was like, I want to be healthy, and I quit drinking. So whenever I see this, it's always an interesting card for me. But I still go out with people and hang out with them while they have a drink. So, I don't mind other people celebrating in that way, but it's also like the idea here is like, there's this impromptu just winging it and being on the fly and then kind of partying, but this is in reverse. So it's like, you got to have a plan, You know, and like having this fun and like doing all this wild stuff, like that's great and all, but it's time to kind of buckle down and get serious and really be like, what is it that I want to do? Because there's an initiation at my core. I'm being tested right now, like, and there's a lot of cups. So we got 2 of cups. So this feels like a loss. Something that feels like a loss in terms of this 2 of cups, like kind of energy or partnership. But it leads to this synchronicity moment and this eureka moment. And what, like, you see the green fairy is creating inspiration in this card. In this one, it's Brian Eno and Oscar Wilde. So Oscar Wilde is inspiring Brian Eno, and it just kind of, this card is about like how generations of like artists and musicians and different people inspire each other. And it's saying like we take that energy of how we all inspire each other and work together as a collective, and then we hone it in as a craft, because we are being initiated. You know, what are the steps we take? What do we do when we're met with challenges, right? Do we crumble under the pressure? Do we party too much? Do we go in the illusion mode where we just like bury everything and hide? Or do we build craft? Do we go, wait a minute, this energy's here. I'm going to figure out how to work with this energy and make it work for me rather than against me, right? And that is a good way. And, you know, here's the Page of Pentacles too. You got a group of people to build the pentacle with. Get your groups of people together to make sure your projects take off. When you work as a group right now, you're going to be very successful. All right, now we're going to use the 3rd deck. And, but I hope everyone's doing good. I know it's been a while since we last did a reading. Masters of Reality. Yeah, so that energy, that chaos, that was constructed by a group of people who want the world to go in the direction that they want it to. And then now we have to rebuild. So they did this with the intention of rebuilding something new. Whoa. Okay, I'm not going to take that card, even though I'm curious what it is. Hope. So there's hope in the situation. Wow, you just really want to pop out. Yep, came out again. Sorry, I flew out that time, so I'm definitely going to take it. So in this energy, it's like we need to remain to have hope. I know that things can seem hopeless, and I know that January was very intense energetically. Prior, the stagnation card was coming up, and the stuck card. And so, astral realm. So the astral realm is, oh, this is coming out. The astral realm is taking a part in this. So if you do dream work, oh, here we go. If you do dream work, that's going to be important. If you do ancestral work, if you do any kind of work with the spirit world, just ask like, hey, like, can you help me fill my cup of love? You know, protect what I love, protect my heart, send positive things in. And then this initiation, this Ace of Wands, this like start of the fire, like the start of the idea, the inspiration, the thing coming to life, that needs to be nurtured. This is all about free will. So this is a test to see what we choose, which side that we choose to go on. And I'm getting a message of if we don't want to choose a side and we just want to either go neutral or find our own way, right? And you can do that. Life is like a choose your own adventure. You are in control. It is your free will. So there's certain things, like things can be like rough and they can harm us and hinder us. But at the end of the day, like our free will is the law. So there's different spirits and entities and they can only operate in a certain way. And it's all based on free will. And it's just reminding you that no matter what you choose, it's your free will, right? And if you have like spirits you work with, a higher power, or anything like that, anything that you can connect to the astral realm, it's saying you can ask for help. You know, help me with my blessings. This looks to me like, you know, it could be a new project, a new beginning, a new fire. And then the thing that really, this imbalance coming out of imbalance is it's related to dominion. And dominion, the 1% did a very phenomenal job in the past few years. And they've managed to create a card for themselves in one of my decks. And it's because they kind of run the show, let's be honest, you know, they run the show, and then we all just kind of have to play along with it, right? And they make some global moves, and then it affects our way of living and then what we're doing on the day-to-day. So this is saying that imbalance was related to this dominion energy, and it's people like wanting to, you know, everybody wants to rule the world, like that Tears for Fears song, right? And this is a musical deck, so we're going there. You know, some people want to rule the world, and they're like, here's what I'm going to do, and you're all going to jump on board. But it's like, we have free will. We have free will. We're a collective. We should be allowed to make our own decisions, right? We should be allowed to say what we want to say. We should be allowed to be who we want to be. And, you know, there's this like kind of energy of like dominance that's just like, I'm going to make things the way that I want. It's exhausting people. It's putting people in emotional imbalance. This Queen of Wands energy, she's supposed to be making magic, being in her positive energy. She's, you know, she's imbalanced right now, right? And so we need to work on that. And then there's a reminder here in the future, like, we are meant to be stewards of this planet. And we have the duality in the free will card and in the stewards card. And they both mean different things, but it's that together, people can come together and work together to make things positive. And we're about ready to enter a time when we're going to see people fighting with each other and choosing sides. And that's going to be an energy all its own. But what we are supposed to do is respect each other's differences. We're supposed to respect each other's choices. And we have been told over and over in the past months, integration. We as a collective, we're supposed to integrate. And now we're going to reach a point in time when we're actually going to be kind of not forced, but like manipulated into being divisive again. And that kind of energy, like, it messes with the collective, it messes with your blessings, it messes with, you know, your coin. You know, we want to be in universal flow. And so that energy kind of combats that. And as a collective, we just have to really, you know, we have to be grounded. We have to be in our own power. And it's saying here, like, it's really important for humanity to be paying attention to the planet right now. The planet needs our help. We're supposed to take care of it. And then coming here, this like Two of Cups and this feeling of loss, it's spirits of nature. So there's this like earthy element of like spirits, the spirit world coming in, like this need of protection. We're in a point where we're supposed to be helping this planet. We are also supposed to be working with the spirit world in order to heal the planet. And there were many different cultures who were so wise and knew that this is how, you know, we're stewards of the planet. We helped it to nourish and grow, and the planet was thriving. And now there's just this dominion energy of take, and it's creating a lot of imbalance. And so this is saying, as a group together, as a collective, we craft, we take these polarities and we balance and we integrate them. And here it's saying this toxicity that started at the beginning, it's showing up again. And they use mushrooms to take toxicity out of the soil. So we started with this toxic energy that got pushed into the collective. And now it's saying, you take that negative energy, you take that toxicity, and you, like the earth's processes, they take time, but you purify it and you work it out of the soil. You work it out of the collective. And we can do that with just by little things like being kind to the people that we know, you know, donating to a charity, you know, helping your neighbor if she's an elderly woman, like across the street. You know, if you see somebody sad, just be like, hey, do you know all the beautiful things you do that inspire me? You're such an inspiring person. I just want you to know that. We can do things on a small scale, and they add up, and we can do things on a larger scale too if we're able to. But I know that people are pressed right now. People are exhausted. We got the 9 of Wands. That's a very tired individual. Well, somebody's ringing the doorbell, and I'm gonna let you go. I hope this reading was helpful to you, and it was a lot to cover. I'm sorry I haven't been available. It's just been really busy with the 3 jobs, and then I'm getting the reprint of the deck done. We had to fix the art files, And we've been working on the color palette. There's like all of these problems that we need to solve with it, and I'm just like working that kind of stuff out. But yeah, when things gonna chill out a little bit more, I can't wait to spend more time with you and spend more time with the readings, and then hopefully we can like comment back and forth in the sections, sorry, in the comment section, and like kind of figure out like, you know, how are the readings working for you? What would you like to see? We didn't do the candle magic this time, but we can do it next time. Well, I'm so sorry and wishing you well. Take care. Bye-bye.